broadcast is brought to you by VictoryUnlimitedshow.com.
The thought police in your cities, for all intents and purposes, have declared war on good men. Victory Unlimited was first thought to have been driven underground by enemy forces, but recent reports reveal that he has resurfaced.
What's going on? Where's VU?
He now leads a large mobile strike force on a mission to destroy the axis of evil, low self-esteem, lack of knowledge, and loser mentality. We've just gotten word that Victory Unlimited has just taken over another whack radio station in North America. He is now just seconds away from tapping into the secret government-controlled feed to transmit a message to all soldiers in the VU Army. We are at war! Good men, where is your armor? Right now you may be outnumbered, but you're never outgunned. There's no reason you can't win. So man up, cause this mission just got serious.
Many of you know me. I am Victory Unlimited, and this is the Victory Unlimited show. The only show that's on a mission to save men from themselves, one man at a time, while the whole world listens. And recognize this, just like my sister in arms said at the very beginning of the show, stick with me, and even though you may be outnumbered, you'll never be outgunned. It may look like the enemies to your success have got you surrounded, but that's not true. Wipe your glasses off. Take another look, and you'll see that what's really happening is that you are just engaging the enemy on all sides. Ha! See the difference? It's all in how you look at it. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this mission. Today, we got a message from Chris. He's 26, from St. Paul, Minnesota. And the title of his email is, Can a Player Get Captured by the Game? I repeat, the title of his email is, Can a player get captured by the game? And Chris writes,
Victory Unlimited.
So, VU, I was out hunting for hookups a while back and I met this very, very attractive girl. I've been seeing her pretty regularly for about 3 months, and we went out on our 11th date and wound up spending the night together. This isn't the first time we've done this. We've been together at least 3 other times before. Anyway, as far as I could tell, everything was cool. We always had a good time together and neither one of us brought up the whole exclusivity conversation. But the next day, she seemed to be a little quieter than usual. But everything still seemed cool. She sat real close to me when I took her home the next day. Passionate kisses when I dropped her off and the whole nine. But here's where things start going to the left. Unlike she usually does, this time she didn't call or text me at all the rest of the day. So I held off on contacting her to see what she would do. But one day turned into 3 days, and now 3 days turned into about 2 weeks, and I still hadn't heard from her. I actually liked this girl better than all the other girls that I was seeing. But I'm a player, and I know how the game is played. So I didn't want to be the first one to call. One day, recently though, I ran into her at the mall, but she wasn't very talkative and things were just plain awkward. So I guess whatever we had is over with now. I really liked this particular girl, but I didn't want to come across like a sucker. And as a true player, I thought I played it right. I don't really know what went wrong here. What kind of game do you think she's playing? Hey, Chris, thanks for the email. So you want to know what kind of game is this woman playing, huh? Well, let me answer your question with a question. What kind of game are you playing? To be clear, you really haven't given me enough information here. At the beginning of your email, you said that you were out hunting for hookups. I'm confused. What are you? What are you, a player or a game warden? Were you trying to meet women for casual dating or for an exclusive relationship? Wait a minute. I think I might be moving just a little too fast. Let me slow this down a little bit. Now, let me define a few things. Now, the term player can mean many different things to many different people, depending on who you ask. But around here, we look at things just a little bit differently than most. So let me break down what I mean when I say, are you a player or a game warden? But first, for the sake of making an analogy and meaning no disrespect, let's think of women as wildlife. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Let's think of women as wildlife, because we, as men, we're always out here hunting them in their natural habitat, no less. Why? Because they add thrills, excitement, and fulfillment to areas of our lives that would ordinarily be kind of boring if they weren't there. Now, you see, a quote-unquote player is just out to play. He's a hunter, just hunting for fun. He's out to just enjoy the wildlife, translation, women, that he catches. And once he's enjoyed them for as long as he wants to enjoy them, he just lets them go, catch and release. By comparison, a game warden is somebody who enjoys the wildlife too. Translation, he enjoys meeting women too. But the difference is his ultimate goal is not to just catch the wildlife, but to keep and protect the wildlife so that he can enjoy that same wildlife over and over again indefinitely. In general, a player plays just to play, but a game warden plays for keeps. You see the difference? The trouble with gaming, translation, playing games with women, is that you eventually find out that they may be playing a different game, or they might be, at the very least, playing the same game, but they may be using a completely different set of rules. Rules that they never tell you about, of course. Just like you never told this woman you were dating about the rules you were using. Here's an idea. How about you stop playing games with yourself and start being totally honest with yourself about exactly what it is you want from these women that you're out here dating? Until you do that, you'll only be setting yourself up to be just another player or hunter captured by the game that you're out here playing. Looks like you just got so caught up in tactics that you forgot all about what your ultimate strategy was for going after these women in the first place. Now, if you're new here, go back and listen to some of the earlier episodes, some of the earlier missions that I went on, where I explained the difference between tactics and strategies. But do that just a little bit later. Right now, let's focus on this matter at hand. When it comes to dating and relationships, most women have one thing in common. They always expect the men that they actually respect to lead. And this is definitely true for women who have shown you some consistent interest over a period of time, like this girl has. I believe it's safe to assume that any girl that you've gone out with 10 or 11 times and has had sex with you on several different occasions at least likes you just a little bit. Now, with that being the case, let's also assume for a moment that this is a normal girl, that she isn't bipolar, that she doesn't have borderline personality disorder, and that she isn't severely emotionally scarred or damaged in some way. Now, if this is a normal girl, then you got to factor in the possibility that she might have went AWOL on you simply because she thinks that you and her may be looking for different things from each other. It's possible that this chick might have just dropped off the grid simply because she was waiting for you to go exclusive with her. She was ready for you to claim her. She was ready for you to legitimize her, slap a definitive label on the kind of relationship that you two were having. Now, not too many people will tell you this, but usually when you continuously see the same girl for 3 or 4 months straight, you usually do wind up creating some kind of bond with her. Then the question becomes, is that bond, number 1, just platonic? Number 2, casually romantic? Or number 3, romantically exclusive? Since you already said sex was involved, I can tell you right now that the two of you have probably fallen somewhere between categories number 2 and number 3. And that's exactly where the confusion comes in. Which one of you wants to stay casually romantic, and which one of you wants to be romantically exclusive? I hate to break it to you, but women give you clues all the time. whether it's verbally or non-verbally. They have a knack for letting you know when it's time, when they want something more from you than you may be given. Learn how to pay close attention to this stuff while it's happening, so that you can either confirm that you want the same things that she does, or you can clarify what it is that you want. If you want a relationship and the time is right, let it be known. If you don't want a relationship, regardless of whether or not the time is right, man up and let that be known too. That way, neither one of you will be operating under some misconceptions. But you should already know this. I thought you said you was a player. Okay, let me stop messing with you. Now, true, in a perfect world, people would just come right out and say, hey, I'm tired of all this casual dating. I think it's time for us to decide whether or not we want to get together and be together for real. Or they would just come right out and say, hey, spending time with you really has been a lot of fun. But right now, I think I'd rather just spend my time with somebody else. So I'll see you around. But unfortunately, it usually doesn't work like that, does it? Now, you're sitting up here wondering what she's thinking about when she might not even be thinking about you at all. Who knows? You think you're a player, but she might have been just playing you all along. Like a little seasonal fling. Maybe to her, you were just a leather coat that she was wearing just to keep her warm while it was cold. But now that winter is over, she just threw you in the closet because she doesn't need you anymore. Maybe she does this with all the guys she meets. You don't know. Maybe now that she's done with you, she just put you on a rack like a pair of slacks with 5 other players tied to your back. Who knows? You may never know. Why? Because neither one of you ever had the quote-unquote conversation. Instead of keeping it real, most people would rather just try to always protect either their feelings or the feelings of the other person. Too much. So what winds up happening is that the door to having a real conversation never opens. And sometimes both people wind up missing out because of it, losing out because of it. The hardcore truth is this. When the time is right, there's nothing wrong with you expressing your intentions towards a woman as long as you do it from a position of strength, confidence, self-sufficiency, and self-respect. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. You think of yourself as a player, so you probably don't believe that. So let me put it in a way that you and everybody else can understand perfectly. Just think of it this way. If an exclusive relationship was a job and you were the employer, would you be a sucker for hiring the right person for the job? Hell no. Whether or not that person accepted the job or not wouldn't diminish you in any way. Because as the employer with such a great job to offer, there'll always be another qualified applicant coming through the door asking you for an interview. Do you feel me, player? Chris. If you forget everything else I'm telling you on this show, remember this. Most moves that a man makes towards a woman from a position of self-respect tend to only generate more respect in the eyes of that woman. And if it doesn't, then guess what? That might be because she's not the right woman for you. But if you can learn how to read women a little better than you do now, you won't have to worry so much about putting yourself out there because you'll already know that she's been out there for a while already. You see, there's a danger to never defining what it is you want with someone. You can't just go on forever living in ambiguity. Now, am I saying that you should be overly blunt to the point of being abrasive about your intentions to a woman on the first date? No. But what I am saying is that unless you make it clear at some point what it is you're after, this is the type of cloudy, confusing situation that you're going to keep ending up with. 2 weeks is a long time to go without speaking to a woman that you used to talk to kind of regularly. It's likely that you may never know what happened with this one unless you come right out and ask her. And then, even if you do ask her, there's no guarantee that she'll even talk to you about it, let alone tell you the truth. At the end of the day, in order to keep this stuff from happening to you again in the future, remember this. If dating a particular woman is just a game to you, make sure you're willing and able to play it. But If dating a particular woman develops into something more than just a game to you, sometimes you have to be willing and able to say it.
The Victory Unlimited show is brought to you by the Victory Unlimited Battle Plan, saving men from themselves, one man at a time. Come and join us at victoryunlimitedshow.com and find out how you can get the classified intel on how to win the war, to attract, engage, and execute better relationships with women by becoming a better man.
We're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a mission.
Victory Unlimited.
We're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a.
Hey, what's up, man? This Arnez from New York City. Your show is on point. I got a question I was hoping you could help me with. I've been with my girl for about 6 months now. I always knew I was more into her than she was into me. I was the one to initiate most things, but now it's gotten to the point where it feel like I'm initiating damn near everything. Now she's starting to act like she don't really want to spend much time with me or talk to me, and the sex is pretty much stopped altogether. What do you think is going on? Why is she acting like this? And what do you think I could do to turn things around?
Arnez, what are you doing? It looks like you forgot to protect your most vital organ, your heart. It's like the sister asked you at the beginning of the show, where is your armor? Understand that how you begin a thing is usually how you will be expected to continue a thing. And the second you stop doing those things that you were doing at the beginning, it can mean the beginning of the end of that thing. Now try saying that 3 times fast, back to back from memory. Here you are pouring out your heart and soul to a woman who apparently isn't doing the same thing for you. Now, no relationship is equal when it comes to give and take, but tell me, how far from equal is all take and no give? Don't even answer that. Don't even answer that, because that should be a rhetorical question. You're so into this girl that you obviously can't see this for what it is. You're too close to it. You think that your girlfriend has a lack of time problem. You think that she has a lack of communication problem. You think that she has a lack of sexual attraction problem. But none of that is really true. All of those are just symptoms of the problem that she really has. What she really has is a lack of passion for you problem. It's no fun for me to sit up here and be the one to have to point this out to you, but you know me, I got to give it to you straight at point blank range. Understand that most things that we really want to do in regards to keeping the other person happy in the relationship all boil down to how we answer just one simple question. How bad do we really want to do it? Now, true. Sometimes outside circumstances do get in the way. But for the most part, we always find a way to do the things that we really want to do for whoever it is we're in a relationship with. And I don't think that your scenario is any different. You said yourself that you've always been the one that's been more into the relationship than she is. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that even from the beginning, her investment was minimal, and it sounds like it still is. So it should really come as no surprise to you that she hasn't changed. You started off this relationship at a passion deficit. You started off this relationship on a mission to please, but in order for that to work, she has to be on a mission to please you too. But she isn't. And it's been that way from the beginning. Yet you're still there, pretending to be happy. Or are you pretending? Maybe you really are happy. I don't know. You tell me. What's up with you? Tell me something. If nothing changed in that relationship, which it looks like it won't, you've been in this situation for 6 months. Can you see yourself in it for 6 years? Do you think you'll somehow be happier then? Are you a glutton for punishment? Do you like pain? Do you like to torture yourself? Taking a woman into your life as your exclusive girlfriend without making sure that she's really into you too first is a lot like taking one of those prescription drugs that they're always trying so hard to sell you on those TV commercials without finding out more about them. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones with the clever names but the terrible side effects. You know what I'm talking about. They always talk about the good news about those drugs, loud and clear and proud, but whenever they start talking about all the crap that it could do to you on the side, that long list of side effects, they don't say that part all loud and proud, do they? No, they don't. They usually just have somebody come in with one of those nice, soothing voices, to distract you from all the horrible stuff that comes with the cure for what they want to prescribe you. Let's see. If exclusively hooking up with a woman that's not into you was a drug, what would they call it? Probably something like, not that into you. What else? Yeah, and the commercial would probably go something like this. Feeling lonely? Don't care who you get with, just as long as you don't have to be alone? Well, ask your doctor about Not That Into Ya. Not That Into Ya is a prescription drug that eliminates the effects of loneliness by routinely linking you to someone, anyone, just so you don't have to go through life alone. The fact that they have no passion for you is of no consequence. Ask your doctor if Not That Into Ya is right for you.
Patients taking Not That Into Ya may experience side effects. Stop taking Not That Into Ya immediately. Call your doctor and go straight to the emergency room if you start experiencing symptoms of regret, resentment, and general feelings of I can't stand this woman, she's working my last nerve. Can somebody please get me the hell out of this relationship?
Anyway, but seriously, I can't tell you how to turn around a relationship like this because I suspect that it might not be a relationship worth turning around. But what I can tell you is this. The best relationships are the ones where both people have a lot of mutual interest in enjoying it and seeing it work. You can't negotiate or obligate somebody to show you some love. And you definitely shouldn't be the only one working to hold up both ends of the relationship. Take your feelings out of this equation for just a moment and ask yourself this. If somebody else you knew was in a relationship like the one you're in right now, would you advise them to stay and try to work it out? Or would you advise them to get out now and go find somebody who was really into them? Whatever the honest answer is that you give to that question is the advice that you should probably follow yourself.
This broadcast is brought to you by VictoryUnlimitedShow.com.